Got to give a mad shout out to my guy, Devon Booker, with the Line for Line Comic Book Fridays. Longtime listener, best podcast out there. Keep it up, my friend.
For you, bud.
Dude, I'm actually pretty stoked. WandaVision finally dropped. I know you didn't get to see it yet, so obviously we won't talk too much on that. Another thing that I did see too, I did go see that second Wonder Woman, and I know you didn't see it yet too. So there's a lot that we can't speak on, but there is a lot that we can speak on.
Did you like Wonder Woman?
No,
What didn't you like about it?
everything.
Everything.
It was just extremely corny. Gal Gadot, that's how you say. I thought it was Gadot, but it's Gal Gadot. She's the only good part of that movie. Everything else is just like crap. Like the villain, I just don't. DC's not that great when it comes to putting their films together. Because you notice when we saw Justice League, they threw that right at us. They really didn't like take time to introduce you to Cyborg, introduce you to Flash, tell their backstories. You know, it's just like how's the first movie just a team up super movie.
We all know that Justice League had problems from the directorial standpoint and problems with the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole team that's supposed to make that movie happen in a way that is appealing to an audience fell apart. Like,
Yeah.
Hopefully we might get the Snyder cut at some point, but I'm not really sure. Like we keep seeing parts of it on the internet and hear talk about it, but until it's streamable somewhere 100% in a way that I think it's going to be, enjoyable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, what was your favorite DC movie?
Well, also here's the thing: is like, Suicide Squad hit the same wall. Like,
I like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was actually pretty nice.
Right, but we're also missing like hours of footage, and they rewrote the script twice. So they went from a dark action movie, like a pulp action movie, which is where it was supposed to go, and then they cut all this stuff out and then rewrote the script where they interjected a lot of comedy to it, and you can see it in as the movie plays out. Like there are parts that have levity to them,
Mm-hmm.
and there are parts where are ultra serious. And I think that the tone conflicts itself enough that it disrupts the overall quality of the movie.
Yeah, I can agree with that because you've noticed a lot of the DC movies are like that as well too.
I think the ones that are like, here's the thing is, they're trying to catch up in a way to Marvel that I don't think that they should be.
That's the thing, is just pushed together. They're like Marvel just puts out great content, which forces DC's hand to try to move quicker, and quicker is not ever better. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is, it's not even quicker. Like those are all multi-year projects. Like the problem is that I think you get too many cooks in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and people want to put their thumbprint on projects so that they get the credit for like, hey, look, we made this great project. When really they're just making a mess.
We've seen that time and time again as well with
And
their
it's also,
projects.
it's also when we go all the way back to stuff like when we talk about Tim Burton's Batmans, where Tim Burton is not a comic book fan. Now he got real close, and he
Mhm.
made a really good Batman movie, or he made two good Batman movies. But they are different, but not so similar, not different, not so dissimilar from the Batman product that we all like,
Mm-hmm.
which makes them work. Also, phenomenal casting and acting and all of those. So I think those separate themselves a little bit different. Um, but like, look at Aquaman, and I know like a lot of people are not a fan, but I love Aquaman. I think Aquaman is a great movie. I think it's a great action movie, and I think it looks like a comic book, which, in my opinion, is part of the whole like to go see it on the big screen and be it super splashy, bright colors, ridiculous action.
When he came out in the orange suit, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, they got me.
And it didn't look
They got
dumb.
me. No, and Jason Momoa, they knew what they were doing when they casted him. I feel like Jason Momoa to DC is like Chris Hemsworth to Marvel.
I don't think I'm not going to agree with you.
Okay, that's fine. Everything is not going to be.
I think Thor and Aquaman are not an apt comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jason Momoa brought a lot of life to the character. I think he's a great actor. He's a beautiful man and a decent human being.
They're both those like sexy flexy guys is what I was getting at. Like that's what he is to DC.
He's just a hunk.
Yeah, like he's what they are to them. And it makes a killing too, you know what I'm saying? Because people are gonna keep paying to see that. Like ladies are gonna want to keep seeing Chris Hemsworth. They want to keep seeing Jason Momoa.
Bodied up dudes is not the reason why I watch movies.
What would you say your favorite DC movie is?
Of like all time?
All time.
Everything?
Everything.
Just live action, or do I get to pick animated too?
Ooh. How about we do both? Animated and live action.
Okay. I'm gonna maybe say the second Nolan Batman movie is probably my favorite.
Hmm.
And then there's an animated full length feature that's a Suicide Squad, and it's called Assault on Arkham. I think that is just awesome.
I'm gonna have to peep that. I remember us talking about that several times as well.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing: I also like Shazam, which I know a lot of people just don't like either. But
Cheesy, corny.
it's
I'm
like I
like,
said, it looks like a Shazam comic.
yeah.
I'm about it.
So that Shazam's your favorite movie?
No, probably not. I still think. Is it the Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises?
Dark Knight Rises. Oh my, hey, you're that dude. You're that dude. Dark Knight Rises, definitely my favorite.
And it goes back to the whole like Heath Ledger debate when they said Heath Ledger's gonna be the Joker, and everyone was like, "Boo, boo," and he killed it.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely
killed it.
Yeah. Dark Knight Rises was my favorite because I love what was his name? Tom Hardy. There we go. How he portrayed Bane.
Tom Hardy is Bane.
Yeah.
Cool character, but not Bane.
No, Bane is supposed to be like way just different as well too. Like, but they did what they could. They did what they could
without going like CGI.
Yeah, they did what they could. I mean,
close. Like Bane has a lot of like when I grew up reading comics, like the introduction of Bane was one of those things that hooked me on Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, like Batman can be defeated, like Batman is mortal, like, and then they introduced this ultra dark villain. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and also I was like going through like a weird, like prepubescent, like angsty goth phase, and I was like, this guy's legit.
Yeah. And I always say this. I know we're talking about DC, but I always say this about Thanos and like Ultron. Like I can relate to some of the stuff that they're saying because how Bane ran it in the movie, like how he said everything Gotham's ran by the people now, and like some of the stuff he was saying, I was like, I could relate to what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like
a little revolutionary.
That's what I'm saying. Like he says that stuff that resonates with you. You're sitting there like, dang, oh, that is wrong. Like how come this happens? But I get him. I get him as a villain. You know.
Sure.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
Yeah. That movie was great though. How come they never did anything with Robin?
Because they didn't have to.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do something like here in the future or what?
A Robin movie?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Nightwing.
Maybe Nightwing?
For sure.
Okay. Because I was like expecting to see that at the end, how he went in there and
well, I mean, we got a pretty good Nightwing out of DC's Titans, serial. So like, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Even though it took a bunch of like time to get into Nightwing mode, but not awful. Like definitely watchable.
How come we've never got a Teen Titans movie?
Because they opted out of a movie and made a series out of it. So it's 2 seasons of 10 or so episodes apiece.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's R-rated.
Where can I find this? Like CW or something like that, huh?
I'm not sure where it streams at anywhere. It moved around and I lost track. I illegally downloaded them.
What do you think that movie would be like if they did do a live action Teen Titans movie?
It would probably be something like the show. Like the show, like I said, they put a lot of production value into the show.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Very good. I love Teen Titans.
It also depends on what era of Titans they worked with.
And I'm Beast Boy, so don't try to steal my character.
Well, Beast Boy's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is they went to like Titans Origins, so they used Deathstroke the Terminator, who's Slade Wilson's kids,
mm-hmm.
And they play some pretty pivotal roles in there. But they also use a young Jason Todd Robin, which I like a lot. They also reference Batman a bunch, but Batman doesn't ever really show up. So
yeah, I feel that.
Like all of the back pinnings of the greater DC universe are referenced and pay homage to the nerd culture and fandom. That I think they did a pretty good job there with what they were working with.
I totally agree. Teen Titans definitely was on. So who would you say your favorite character is since you tried to stunt on Beast Boy?
That's tough. I don't know.
I can see you saying Raven.
No? I don't like Raven.
You don't like what? Why?
So
wait, well, no. First off, go to who's your favorite before you say why you don't like Raven, so you don't get away from that.
I don't. You're gonna call me out. Probably Dick Grayson is Nightwing or Dick Grayson is Robin.
Is Robin?
I think so.
Robin was that dude, but Beast Boy is just that dude, bro. You can't compete with him.
Yeah, you can.
I know. I'm just saying that because you couldn't tell me as a kid, I wasn't Beast Boy.
I'll say this, that I get that the CGI budgets are, limited and stuff, but the amount of shapeshifting that Garth did in the show is pretty limited.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also a younger Beast Boy then and less experienced. So like I think he does Cat. I think he does Tiger. I forget what else he might do something else. But I think Tiger is his go-to. And Tiger's kind of his like default for a lot. But like as he expands as a character, like he definitely gets some stranger stuff added to his arsenal.
Yeah. Now you can tell me why you don't like Raven, and then we'll transition into Marvel.
I think Raven is a character who has more potential if he was written a little differently, or if someone else had got their hands on her earlier. Like ultimately, she's supposed to be like this nuclear weapon that is roaming around, and in the mystical influence of the world, like someone like the Phantom Stranger or John Constantine should have locked onto her earlier and probably put her down a little different path and tried to help her out. But instead, she just kind of did her own thing for a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know. It bugs me a little bit. Like some character paths. Like I get that they're written that way for like they need her drama and angst and to flesh out her character. But
yeah,
honestly, I think she'd been a better character if she'd been refined a little bit.
Too funny. Now, as we just spoke on DC, it is now time to speak on Marvel, which is the name of my new puppy. This is Comic Book Friday. Mike Adams, Devon Booker. What do you guys say about Marvel, my dude?
What about it?
Tell me one thing that you see that you want to speak on.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about video games before this started, and I read an article a couple weeks ago that I thought was pretty interesting. That video games in the current format that are based around Marvel properties have a lot to say in the storytelling aspect because they have such a broad brush to paint with inside of a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically talking about the Miles Morales Spider-Man, which does a lot of character development. You see inside of Morales' head as you play through the scene of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think about them pushing content through a video format like that in the future? Like, do you think it would be good to see more video games that have in-depth character builds? Like, would you like to see like a more in-depth story-driven Hulk game? Like, there are Hulk games, and they're based off the movie. But would you like to see an original content like the Miles Morales game, like original content Hulk?
Yes, sir. Especially as you say, as we transition into the future, I definitely think that would be a great idea as well too, because obviously that gives you another platform to put more content out. So you keep people satisfied basically year round. Because if you look at it, people will say, "Oh, well, Marvel hasn't done anything in a couple of months or X, Y, Z," and I just know the feeling that I get back when I was a kid sitting there playing video games on superheroes that I like and adore. I definitely think that's a great idea, and I would back that and support that.
Well, also with the integration of the internet into most gaming consoles and computer gaming, like the ability to download content. So say we make a Hulk game and you're gonna write X amount of stories into the Hulk game, and then it's got, we'll say, 40 hours of playable storyline. Like you already have all of your shells set up. Now you just need to make DLC for it. So think about how far they could push that if they make, a Hulk game and then they put 40 hours playable content and then create another 40 hours in DLC that comes out, whenever, every 6 months you get a new 10-hour DLC.
I definitely will love that because that's a mini movie if you think about it, the way you play the game and how much content they put in it. Like, sure. I would definitely be behind that and back that.
I think so too.
They should do that. That's a great idea.
I think it's probably coming. Like,
yeah,
we're probably still a little far. Like they're probably going to flesh out more characters, but the Spider-Man games have always been a lot of fun.
Have you played the most newest one?
I have not.
What about the Avengers? I'm sorry to cut you off. The newest one? That looks cold, bro. That looks cold.
I think the last Marvel video game I played was Wolverine Origins.
Wolverine Origins?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it plays the longest storyline in the movie, so.
That's what's up. I played the first Avengers game. And one thing, I get it, it'll cost a lot of money for them to do, but I would love for like the original actors to be the voice of the video games.
It actually doesn't cost that much money.
For real?
No.
Then why don't they do that?
Probably more than likely it has to do with scheduling than money.
Okay.
Because they're already locked in the contracts. Like their contracts can be anything.
Yeah, basically, I feel like
essentially if you're going to be Steve Rogers or Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel or whoever. Like now they're just going to tack on this next part where you're not shooting active scenes in the movie. We need you to sit in the booth and do your lines for the video game.
Yeah, I feel I like that. That's so cool. I did hear you say Chris Evans in there, Captain America. What do you think about him coming back? Before you say, I'm so sorry. I gotta say this. There's just so much that I tried to tell you that I spoke into fruition, but everybody wants to look at me like I'm that mad man. I just like I see it coming before it comes.
Listen, I want to see it on the screen. We'll talk about it. Until then, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I think that's great.
I think Chris Evans is awesome.
It's a cash cow too, you know.
I hope he plays Captain America until he dies. Whatever.
But
they can, listen, he can be 65 and they can reverse age him back to Silver Age Captain America.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
I try to tell people too, like, don't be surprised if you see like another Avengers and you see like the original cast there, because like I was telling my friend Kier, like the time continuum is like all over the place. Everything's just all over the place.
Time is not linear.
Yeah.
The last Avengers movie blew that right out of the water. Like we absolutely are no longer in the same time stream. Like I said, other conversations we've had are the possibility for other people to show up from the past or who we thought have died, like is completely possible now, because now we know that it can happen because there are other people in other places out there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely feel that. It's just crazy what they're gonna do with him. What do you think? What do you see them doing with him?
I don't know.
There's definitely gonna be a rogue Captain America or a bad Captain America.
Maybe.
I could see that happening.
Like he has how many different, like he could be renegade, he could be U.S. agent, like who knows?
Yeah.
Or they can put other people in those positions, and Steve Rogers has to come back and like bring back the prestige to Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
I respect that. I like that. What do you feel about the new Black Panther news that they said Michael B. Jordan is confirmed back as well too?
We'll see what happens.
That's just another thing that I kind of thought I said, you know, but sometimes I think a lot.
Hold on, listen. I'm not saying you didn't say it. What I'm saying is we had a conversation about it, and I said we'll see when it happens.
I know. I'm just trying to get you started on the mic, bro.
I said he died. I don't see why they would push another Killmonger line, but that was before Chadwick Boseman died.
Yeah.
Like, how much of this is reactionary? Was it planned? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if they're gonna write an arc where Killmonger becomes the new Black Panther, like that's gonna take some mental gymnastics and some very creative writing, which they're very capable of.
Which may get pushed back again, because look at everything keeps getting pushed back. Because wasn't that scheduled to come next year, 2022?
Right. But also, like, their star died. Like, their whole project got the brakes pumped on it pretty hard.
Yeah. And they said I heard that they won't use like any old footage of Chadwick Boseman for the movie or anything.
What I read was that they wouldn't make a whole project where they CGI Chadwick Boseman onto like a model.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't going to push a project where they're going to run T'Challa as Chadwick Boseman CGI onto a model.
Gotcha.
Like if they use old footage, like in flashbacks, or if they use whatever they do have, like I think that will probably be realistic.
Yeah.
Like if they use something to like put him into the Veld, that's a possibility.
I like that idea. There's a lot to come from Black Panther too. Just the whole timeline as well too. We've talked about this in so many episodes on what's to come. I'm just happy that we finally did get WandaVision on Disney Plus.
Well, the next move is that we know that Marvel Studios is going to regain rights to X-Men. So now that T'Challa is dead, we know that we're not going to see a T'Challa and Storm crossover. But like the X-Men very heavily influenced like events in and around Wakanda more than once. So
several times.
So we could see like maybe that there's a possibility there. Also, I mean, we know that Namor's in the mix at some point here soon.
There was talks that it was going to be Namor and Submariner versus T'Challa. Yada, he floods Wakanda. Yada, all that fun stuff.
Right. So I don't know. We'll see. There's a bunch of like confluence of events that happen in the big crossovers in the comics that all revolve around, like Avengers, X-Men, Wakanda, Latveria, Namor. Like
I can't wait for them.
All those spin around. So like we could get. I mean, there could be an even bigger crossover yet to come. I mean, especially with the adding of like more of the space opera themed projects. Like we know we're going to see more We're gonna see more Guardians. We know a Nova project is in the works. Like we know we have more Captain Marvel coming. So
Yeah.
like
There's still a lot to say. It's still got Thor coming as well too.
another Thor, but I don't know where Thor's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like Thor might happen in space, but I think if Jane Foster's gonna be Thor, like it might happen on Earth.
that would be cool. Do you think we'll ever see anything Hulk related? Obviously, She-Hulk coming, but Hulk.
I mean, I would like to see another Hulk movie. I don't know like how strong it's gonna be. Like I kind of have this feeling that Hulk will be a supporting actor through movies,
Yeah,
unless they let Hulk back out of the box and not make him Professor Hulk like he was when we last saw him.
I would like to see the Sakaar movie. Yeah, I get that they put that into
They already saw
Thor.
that.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to see that strictly that Beta Ray Bill, all that fun stuff. But a guy can only wish, right?
Wasn't there? I thought there was talk that Beta Ray Bill got cut from Ragnarok.
Really?
Yeah, I thought there was a scene that he was in. I thought he was originally going to be in the Gladiator sequence
Oh, I didn't hear
because
that.
that's where you had like in the comics and in the cartoon.
Yeah, definitely. I know.
But
Yeah,
Beta Ray Bill happens in the Gladiator sequence with Hulk in the pit.
how do you think he would do in the MCU?
Who Beta Ray Bill?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if enough non fans know who he is, and then they'd be like, we don't understand Goat Head Robot Thor,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, like unless they worked some magic like and made it awesome, which they could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My dude. One thing too, I'm excited to get those mics too, because now 4 people can be on the pod now if needed. You know what I'm saying? But just to not get sidetracked or anything like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So we can speak on the Spider-Man, and then we'll wrap it up there. Spider-Verse, Tobey Maguire new contract. How do you feel about all of that?
I told you it was likely, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Mike, that's what I love, bro. When we talk, you don't get too excited. You hold your composure. You don't just dive off the deep end. Like this is happening, because it's like we'll see.
I've lived my whole life disappointed by comics.
Yeah.
I grew up. Listen, if you've never watched the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie, you can't talk about your level of disappointment. Comics.
Yeah.
Just like no, like I love Dolph Lundgren, and despite the fact that the Punisher is catching a lot of heat right now for a bunch of reasons that I see as sort of valid, but also like I really don't agree with.
Hmm.
That's whatever.
I definitely feel that.
Um,
Like I told everybody, he's the best Spider-Man ever.
Toby
Toby.
pass.
How can you? Okay, who you got?
Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
Tom, listen, man.
Come
Tom,
on.
Tom,
All right, man.
Tom plays such a good like for the time period. Whatever the newest version of Spider-Man they started writing the comics book as, where they go back to young Peter. Like
Mhm.
he is the best young Peter Parker like ever. Like he's so good.
I just feel like if Tobey Maguire had today's technology and everything like that for his Spider-Man movies and crossovers and all that, he
Dude, what are you talking about? Listen, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is an absolute gem that will absolutely stand the passage of time forever. Like it is so good for so many reasons.
give me one.
Let's talk about all the awesome actors that are in it.
Yeah.
Like Tobey Maguire, awesome. Willem Dafoe, awesome. Better than awesome. Like he might have played the best, creepiest Green Goblin ever.
That was pretty creepy, especially as a kid seeing that too. I was kind of scared.
For sure.
Yeah, I was kind of scared, bro, to be honest with it. But yeah, I think the Spider-Man trilogy is gonna be pretty decent. Just depending on what villains they bring.
All of them. I hope they bring everybody. I hope, like I said, and I've said this before, I hope that they finish Venom and Carnage, and I hope they build a Maximum Carnage crossover,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope we get to see everybody. I hope we see every Spider-Man that we can. I hope we get the Masked Rider with his 6-shooter and whatever his horse is, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
All the weird versions. I hope we get a little bit of everything.
I like that in a live action movie at that.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be pretty cool. Okay,
you know what I think would be even crazier is
What's
if they
that?
breach the Spider-Verse and go to a different dimension and they cut to like animation.
I feel it. Yeah.
Kind of like so, like in Far From Home when Mysterio like went full on like holographic like hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was pretty wild, especially from like watching it like a cinematographer like standpoint. But what if like so our new group of Spider-Men are on the mission and we go from live action to animation to whatever else,
Yeah.
to back to real life, like they can get real wild
The
with it.
tables of possibilities, my friend. And that's one thing we speak on all the time on our Comic Book Fridays. Table of possibilities are open for whatever. Well, I greatly appreciate you for coming through, Mike Adams. That's been Comic Book Friday.